I found out the entire truth the day before our 5th wedding anniversary. 5 years married, but we had been together for 18 years, a lifetime. We were high school sweethearts. That history meant nothing. That day, I realized our 18-year relationship was nothing but a calculated, beautiful lie. It started so innocently. We were high school sweethearts. I wanted someone to make beats, so he tried it. He liked it. He started producing music. That was our beginning, the foundation of our entire adult life. But 2 years into our relationship, the sickness began. The constant hints, the casual, passing comments about desiring other women. He would drop it like a joke, like a hypothetical scenario. It grew stronger after we married. He would mention it often, no matter how much it hurt me, no matter how angry it made me. He kept bringing it up. It was a constant psychological test. He had his script ready for every argument. He would say, "It's just sex." He would claim, "Only women get emotional about it." He was dismissing my feelings before they even formed. He wanted me to believe that sex was something separate, something meaningless. I knew it wasn't true. I didn't believe that lie for a second. But either way, it didn't matter. I didn't want to share him. I didn't want an open relationship. Yet, he kept pushing the boundary. Every conversation was him slowly eroding the trust. He was setting the stage for the inevitability of his betrayal, absolving himself years in advance. His career began to grow. He started producing records with bigger artists. But his concerns weren't about our future. They were always about his ego. He worried about messing up. He worried about getting bigger and making money. The deeper his success grew, the deeper his fear grew. The money became the new wedge. He wasn't making consistent money. We couldn't afford a place of our own. We were stuck living with relatives. Yet, even after we were married, he argued against moving in together. He didn't want to make a joint account. He argued it wasn't important. It was a symbolic rejection of our unity. Refusing a joint account wasn't about the money. It was about refusing to link his future to mine. That refusal was his exit strategy. He argued against date nights. He fought against counseling. He fought against therapy. He was physically present, but emotionally absent. He never lifted a finger around the house. He wasn't affectionate. I craved affection. I craved partnership. He gave me transactional gifts. If he could afford to buy me things, he would. I'll give him that shallow gesture. But everything else that makes a marriage, he starved it. I was my husband's silent partner. I was the one who believed in him with everything I had. I was patient. I was supportive. I put up with things most women would never tolerate. I was the one who fought for his career. I bought him flights so he could travel. I elevated him. I helped him in so many ways because I saw the potential. I saw the man I loved. I invested my own emotional and financial capital into the illusion of his success. I spent my own money on those flights. I deprived myself of things to ensure he could chase his dream. That dedication became the greatest betrayal. The money I spent, the sacrifices I made, the flights I booked, the infrastructure I built for him, he was using all of it to orchestrate his affair. The very patience and support I gave him became the vehicle for his cheating. He wasn't just lying to me. He was using me as the launch pad for the life he wanted to live with other women. The bitter irony is a deep, agonizing wound that I will carry forever. My suffering during this time was immense. I suffered a miscarriage. It was a private, devastating loss. I needed his comfort. I needed his stability. I needed his presence. I barely got it. Almost 3 years later, we finally had our baby. Because of the miscarriage, I was consumed by paranoia throughout the entire pregnancy. Every ache, every subtle shift, sent me into a panic. I was terrified of losing this child too. This was the most vulnerable, hormone-charged, and delicate time of my life. I was fighting for our baby. I was fighting for my sanity. And what was he doing? He was actively cheating. He cheated before, during, and after my pregnancy. While I was paralyzed by fear, while I was mourning our first loss, while I was bringing our second child into the world, he was out there seeking the validation of other women. He neglected me completely. He made me feel utterly and completely alone. He was cold. He was distant. He was physically present in the same house, but emotionally miles away, already committed to his double life. That loneliness during pregnancy is a special kind of trauma that only a few of us know. 4 months after the baby was born, I couldn't take the feeling anymore. I kept questioning him. The suspicion was a sharp pain I couldn't ignore. Finally, he admitted it. He had been cheating for the past 2 years. He had an affair. The marriage, the vows, the family, it all disintegrated. He tried to apologize, but it was hollow. It was immediately followed by excuses. He said he just loves women. He just needs their validation. He then launched into the campaign of gaslighting. He told me this behavior was normal. He told me it was common. He tried to convince me that my expectation of fidelity was the real problem. He flipped the script. He wanted us to stay together, but on his terms. He wanted me to understand him. He told me I had to accept him and his behavior. If I didn't accept the cheating, he said I didn't love him unconditionally. He redefined unconditional love as unconditional acceptance of my betrayal. He was cold. He was spiteful. He became nasty. Then, the most calculated insult. He told me he knows he is not a changed man. He told me he couldn't promise he wouldn't do it again. He was signing his own exit contract while demanding I stay put. The contrast between the man I married and the man he became was sickening. When he was around people in the music industry, he was a star. He was charming. He was intelligent. He was the great guy. He put on a dazzling public image. But at home, that man didn't exist. That image was a fraud. That persona was a tool. He neglected me. He was cold. He was constantly distracted. He was always on his phone. He always needed to talk about his career. His career was always the priority. It was always placed above me, above our baby, above our history. I was truly hurt because he wasn't willing to address his own deep-seated issues. He just kept making the excuses. He kept making himself the victim of his own success. He was still lying. He was still hiding details from me. Even after the forced confession, he was still protecting his own narrative. His need for career validation was a hungry, aggressive addiction that consumed our relationship. The pain of being used is immense. It hurts to know every act of support I gave him, every penny I spent, was actively facilitating his deceit. He doesn't even seem bothered by the devastation. His heart is closed off. He is still working. He still bothers me almost daily with texts. They are selfish. They are arrogant. He sends mixed messages designed to keep me emotionally tethered to his chaos. It's a cruel form of emotional whiplash. He'll say something cold, then something selfish, then something vaguely apologetic, all designed to make me unable to move on. He is still booking his own tickets now. He's traveling out of town, even in the middle of this catastrophic separation. He let the industry get completely to his head. He may be known. He may have some clout, but he is broke. He doesn't have any real money or stability. Yet, he truly believes these girls who chase him are doing it for real. He's completely deluded. He doesn't see the woman who was with him through everything, the 18 years, the miscarriages, the broke years, the sacrifices. He is giving up a lifetime of real love for the fleeting attention of money, 30 clout-chasing HS. It is sad. It is profoundly sad. This betrayal is complete. I decided I'm done. I decided to separate. I am moving out of his parents' house. It hurts really bad to be betrayed like this. It hurts to realize the man I loved for 18 years never actually existed. I grieve the memory of the high school sweethearts. I grieve the life we promised each other. I am divorcing a stranger. I am closing the door on a man who redefined love as conditional acceptance of his chronic selfishness. It is the end of a long, calculated lie. And if you thought this was the worst end to a high school romance, wait until you hear the next story of a woman whose husband literally tried to write her out of existence.